Hey everybody, welcome back to a Focus on Business. Thanks for coming back. I hope you got your coffee, your tea, your drink, whatever it is you do at 5 o'clock. I'm good with it. So today we have Michael Banner. He is he's a different kind of cat because he's not just a business guy that actually is in a very niche, has a very niche product. But he also does a show here on WeBeam TV called 62 Who Knew. So, Michael,
yes,
buddy,
welcome
to the show.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you coming on.
I like being on this side of the table this time.
I always love throwing our guests and our host of other shows into the fire.
Absolutely.
And it's a good thing, right? So,
absolutely.
the first thing I want to talk about is let's talk about 62 Who Knew.
Well, that show, started as a concept, I hate to say, almost 10 years ago. I'm almost ashamed to say that it took that long to get to reality, but a few things got in the way, like the Great Recession and things like that.
Right.
And then, of course, again, I'm not saying this because he's the host of the show, but meeting you is what started it. I came here on Chamber TV and then was a guest on your wife's show, which is a great show. And this little thing that you do here is not a little thing. I thought it was, but it's a big, huge thing. And we started 62 Who Knew. The concept of 62 Who Knew, quite frankly, is one that's been accepted. It looks like pretty much nationally. The truth of the matter is, as we approach 62, all of us, I don't care if it's your dad, your grandfather, everybody, oh my God, it's time to retire. Did we save enough money? Did we this? We all have the same problems.
Right, yeah.
Unless you're in the top 1% of the country, yeah. But this generation, our generation, has a totally different obstacle than any other generation ever has. And that obstacle is longer lifespans. Every generation lives a little longer, but not our generation. Medical breakthroughs, modern science, stem cells technology. Oh my God, the last 20, 30 years has just changed life. And right now, if you make it to 65 in this country, just make it to 65. The odds are you're going to make it to 90. And that's staggering when you think about that's almost as much time as you've been alive. Half that time you still have to go without working,
right?
With a quality of life. I can't do that. So, I say a lot when I do my public speaking that I am blessed, though. I actually do have enough money to live the rest of my life, as long as I die by this weekend.
There you go.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, there's my, yeah. So,
well, okay, so as the producer, as your technical director of your show, I get to listen to all this stuff and all these. You have great speakers coming on. That's what really. And I'll tell you what. I thought I was going to be okay. I'm 52 years old, and now I am scared to death because I'm not doing okay. And now I've got to look into long-term insurance. I've got to make sure my financials are set because I think I'll make it to at least 75.
No, you'll make it to 85 or 90.
I don't think I'll live past 75. I stress myself out too much. So.
There'll be a pill for that.
But exactly. I mean, we'll make it to 125.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Is they're going to go, oh, we've got a cure for that now. No. I don't want that. I'm good. Because I don't know. I've seen people as they got older and when they got past, say, in their 70s and 80s, that their quality of life is just not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's not good because our bodies are just. Why don't we just retire early? And that's what the whole 62 Who Knew is about.
Yeah, really and truly, making it to 80 or 90 would, for lack of better terms, would just be no fun with no quality of life. But they, years ago they said 50 was the new 40 and 60 is the new 50. But truthfully, in my other career as a mortgage person, where my niche is seniors, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. I mean, when I interview or do business with 70 and 75-year-olds now, I got to say, it's just kind of staggering. I mean, they're not playing shuffleboard like my grandparents. They're playing golf. They're playing tennis in 90-degree heat. They're traveling the country.
They're driving motorcycles across the country.
They're taking cruises. They're having a ball with their grandchildren. So it is about quality of life, but you got to be prepared for it. Like you said, long-term care insurance, Social Security. Should I take it now or should I defer?
Should I wait? Right.
Should I keep working? Why did I hand in that life insurance policy, or should I? So many young people rightfully so, buy life insurance when they're younger, when the kids are younger. So if them or their wife die, there's enough money to take care of the kids.
Right.
Do you really need it once the kids are older? There's just so many things to talk about. That's what we've been doing every week on 62 Who Knew. Immediate income annuities, SPIAs, single premium annuities, long-term care insurance, in-home care. Stop putting mom and dad in a home. Keep them at home.
Right.
Every survey in the world says they will live longer.
It really does. I mean, I've got friends who have called me after watching the show, and they're like, "Holy cow!" I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right?" I mean, it's like you're sitting there going, "I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to do this yet. I'm gonna have to work another 10 more years, 20 more years just to be able to retire if I can retire."
That's life,
right?
and that's weird, isn't it?
It is, and they're like, "Well, I need this guy. I don't need him today, but I'm going to need him because we're on our second segment. We'll tell you why. Because it's just amazing. So if they're going to help us live longer, they need to make a pill to make the body live longer and healthier.
And what was that? Our show number 7 when we did the Weitzman Institute.
Yes.
We brought on people from the Weitzman Institute, which is one of the best medical research institutes on the planet in Israel. And it's really amazing what we learned on that show. It blew my mind. That pill is coming. I mean, they have created pills now, or I should say medicine. I don't know if it's pills. That gets rid of the plaque on your brain, which is ultimately the cure for Alzheimer's.
Right.
That same pill is being created, or that same medicine is being resituated. So it gets rid of the plaque around your heart, which is going to end strokes and heart attacks.
Right.
I mean, there's no way to get around it. In the next 2 decades, the average age you won't be making it to 90. It will be 100, 110. But boy, we better take care of ourselves. I mean,
yeah, I know. I don't look down much.
If I look down, I don't see anything. So it's
there you go.
No, we got to take care of ourselves. In fact, I've had a few people, more than a few people, now after 15 weeks of shows, say to us or say to me, I love the show, but man, it's depressing. I'm not prepared for this. That's why
I don't know if depressing is the word, but it scares the crap out of you because it's like, wow, I really thought I had a handle on this.
Well, reality always sucks. Let's face it.
It does.
Well, that's why 2 weeks ago we brought on G. David Howard to do the comedy, which turned out to be a great show. People laughed. We had a great audience. But when I did look back at our 14 shows, I went, you can take this 2 ways. Like I'm telling people, basically, if you've made it this far, you're pretty much screwed. And if you're in the night, sorry, you didn't buy your long-term care insurance. You don't have enough annuities.
68, it's too late.
Yeah, 68, it's too late. There's no way to get around it. 95, you're still alive. We'll just keep changing the name.
Exactly.
As long as it rhymes. What the hell?
Well, but here's the difference. Okay, so again, and this has nothing to do with me, but our shows are made for a semi-local audience. Mm-hmm. So we have local people that come on our show. Your show is different. You have people from all across the world coming on, the Weizmann Institute, and that's in Israel. Mm-hmm. I mean, these are big hitters. These are not some like, hey, Uncle Bob, you want to come on and talk about how'd you made it so far to 90 or 85? No, these are people that actually they have their finger on the pulse, and they know what's going on. It makes the show so much.
We've been lucky in my other career that we'll talk about in the second segment. I do a lot of national speaking, and I'm never the keynote speaker, but I get to meet I'm one of the little speakers, but I get to meet those big guys. And we had Tom Hegna 4 weeks ago, who without a doubt is the #1 retirement income expert in the United States of America.
Right.
The lady that was with us just 2 nights ago.
Yes.
Carol Golden is heading up a national project for NAIFA, which is the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, the largest financial advisor organization in the United States of America, and they're starting a whole new platform. It could be named 62 Who Knew.
Right.
It's a good thing I trademarked that name, so they can't do it. Yeah, it's all about this, and people used to think that financial planning is for rich people, but it's not. It's for people that are living paycheck to paycheck, which is a lot of us in the world, and are putting a little away, but do it right So when you get to that 62, 65, you can go, wow,
Right.
I got some great years ahead of me.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what's really all about is no matter your income bracket, there is a way to help.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what the show is all about. It teaches you no matter what income bracket you are, there is a way to save for retirement and to cover your long-term care needs.
Yeah, there's no way to get around. And long-term care is such a sensitive. Long-term care is like life insurance. You don't want to talk about it. I don't think there's a family listening. I don't think I know a family who can look at you and not tell you they've had some sort of example in their family. Aunt Lily, Aunt Helen, Grandpa, that had that stroke and they survived because of modern medicine. Life is good. But during that time of taking care of them, oh my God, I didn't know Medicare didn't cover this.
Right.
Medicare's,
And that's a lot of people's long-term care needs. Or their retirement plan is Medicaid to Medicare.
Yeah. Well, Medicare
That's not a retirement.
No, and Medicare is a great thing. There's no way to get around it.
I get that.
And then, of course, there's Medicare supplemental policies, which most of Mid-America has, and that's the trap, because once you have that, oh, do I really need anything else? Oh my God, do you still need a lot of things? Yeah,
you do.
And it's sad because, like so many things, when you need them, it's too late. Right. After you have the stroke or the bout with cancer. And, the truth is we've cured a lot of diseases in this country, and or in this world, I should say. I mean, let's be realistic. 30 years ago, you were HIV positive, you died.
You were dead.
It was a death sentence. Yeah,
that's right.
Today, you take the proper amount of medication, and not only do you live a quality of life, and you're happy. That's just one example. Almost all men's cancer, prostate cancer, things such as that, catch it at its early stages. It's 90%, curable. But many women's cancer, the same thing. So we haven't gotten rid of the disease. We simply can fix it. But when you get the disease, if you don't have the proper coverage, the proper care, what it can do to you and also your caretakers, your family.
Yeah,
nobody thinks about that too. The people taking care of you.
Did a show about caretakers, and I did it for about 2 years. And the amount of stress and damage that it does to the caretaker is amazing.
It was Mark Goldberg on our 4th or 5th show, 3rd show. He quoted some statistics. I'm not going to try and repeat them.
Make you curl your toes.
I'm thinking about it now, and it gives me the chills how many caretakers, predeceased, the people they would take care of, the stress. There's just so much great stuff out there. And again, the misnomer in the country is, well, we can't afford that.
All right. So with that being said, when we come back, we're going to talk, believe it or not, we're going to talk mortgages, but not what you think. So stick around. Have a shot, have a beer, decaf coffee, whatever it is, because it's 5 o'clock, or a beer. And we'll see you shortly.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
All right, we're back. So, as you see in the back, Professional Mortgage Alliance. Now, I know you do mortgages. Let's talk about the mortgages really quick so we don't eat up a lot of it, because I know there's a specialty side of your mortgages that is, I personally think, is the biggest, baddest, and it's awesome thing in the world.
Well, thank you. Well, Professional Mortgage Alliance is a full mortgage brokerage company. Right now, we're licensed in Florida and New Jersey, pending in a few more states. Florida is our main state.
So you do it in Jersey?
We do it in Jersey, baby, right off the turnpike. We meet you at an exit. We take your application. We go into Nathan's for a hot dog or sauerkraut.
There you go.
And then we close. But we're Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, USDA. Don't really do commercial loans. I'm not good at it. I try not to do things. You get older, you get smarter. You don't do things that you're not good at.
Exactly.
But we do all sorts of loans, 3% down, 3.5% down, gift money. I've been doing mortgages, God, I hate to say this, for 36 years. And it's been very rewarding. People forget the American dream is owning a home. So many people own homes that a lot of the younger generations don't remember that.
Right.
The American dream is to be a homeowner. So it's been a great business and it's been good. But as you said, I developed a little niche about 10 years ago. Lucked into doing my first reverse mortgage. It's a very misunderstood product.
Okay, so I'm glad you segued into that smoothly.
I segued.
So you handle all the mortgage world, other than commercial. But if it's about the house, you can get it done.
Yes.
But you have a niche.
Yes.
And the niche is the reverse mortgage.
Yes.
And just the other day, I think I even told you about this, on a national radio station, I heard a guy hammering.
Yeah.
I couldn't call in fast enough. Right? So let's dismiss the stigmatism of reverse mortgage.
All right. Well, like I actually teach a class all over the country to financial planners called Reverse Mortgages Myth vs. Reality.
Right.
Because there's such myths out there. But like a lot of myths, like a lot of bad crap that's out there, some of it has its basis in truth.
Right.
The reverse mortgage has been around for more than 50 years. People think it's like the turn of the century, then we ran into the recession, we need a reverse. It's been around for 5 decades, if not more.
Really?
Yeah. And the truth of the matter is the first 30 or 40 years, it was, I won't say dangerous, but it was like the Wild West out there till the late 80s when my favorite president, Ronald Reagan, brought the Reverse Mortgage Act to Congress. Then certain great things started to happen. That was the birth of today's reverse mortgage. But quite frankly, I know a lot of reverse mortgage people get mad when I say this. Until 2010, until April of 2010, this still was not such a great product. It was definitely what we referred to as a needs-based product of last resort.
Oh, okay.
Mom is broke. Oh my God, grandma can't even go to the drugstore to get her insulin.
Right.
And, so let's get one of those overpriced, and they were high-priced reverse mortgages. I know it's going to cost a lot, but hey, we can give grandma money. She'll have money to last the rest of her life, and there's no payments. I mean, how can you lose? But it was that last-ditch product. In April of 2010, for the first time in decades, HUD ripped apart the reverse mortgage, put it back together. HUD is, of course, who controls FHA.
Right. Reverse
mortgage is an FHA-insured product. They did that in 2010 and made it a little safer, maybe even a lot safer. Then they did it again in 2012, ripped the product apart, put it back together, made it safer. Now we really had a pretty cool product. But 3 more times since then, 2013, 15, and 16.
So they've just ripped this thing.
They just keep honing it.
Dismantled it to make it where it's even better and better and better and safer and safer and safer.
There's no doubt the last couple of years, but specifically today, today's reverse mortgage is one of the safest retirement planning tools in this country. And again, it always leads back, good segue, to 62 Who Knew. It leads back to that 1% of the world that can get through retirement.
Right.
The other 99% of us, they're going to have to tap into the equity in their house.
Right.
There's no way to get around it. So it's a question of, it doesn't have to be a reverse mortgage. You want to do a regular mortgage? I'll do your mortgage. But call me crazy, I'll take the mortgage that has no payments due till after I'm dead. And when you say that, people go, oh, that's the trick. That's the catch. It's not a catch. It is a simple interest, no prepayment penalty loan that allows you to defer your payments and your payoff of the loan till after death. You're deferring the payments. Believe me, you're paying for it. Interest defers. There's no secret out there. You know, you borrow 200 grand at 4%, let's even say 5% because rates are going up. You know, you don't make any payments. So at the end of the first year, you don't owe 200, you owe 210. People go, oh, is it free? No, it's not free, but it's America. I mean, there's reverse mortgages all over this world. Canada, the Mideast, the Far East, Europe, Australia. Only Oz does what it does. It can continue to grow, and quite frankly, the new rules, your estate, your children, your heirs, can never owe more than the house is worth. And people don't realize you have a regular mortgage, 2008 through 2013, you got foreclosed on. I'm not picking on banks, but I sort of am. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, the big boys.
Right.
They were on the phone with your children, with your heirs going, you know, the house is upside down. Mom and dad bought it at the top of the market. You know, it's upside down, 100 grand. Did mom and dad leave you life insurance? Was there any money in the money market? Right. Stocks? Mom and dad personally guaranteed that loan. You don't personally guarantee today's reverse mortgage. It's amazing. The house stands for the loan. So when you do ultimately die, and we'll talk about that in a second, and the house goes to the children, if there's profit, the children sell the house, pay off the mortgage, pocket the profit. Let's say we're in another recession and it's upside down.
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
Which could happen. A lot of people think there's another bubble coming. Mom and dad got the benefit of living there maybe from 65 to 90, 25 years with no payment. The house is upside down. The children call the bank, say, where do I send the keys? By law, that lender can't even say, well, what are you doing about the negative balance? I mean, did mom and dad leave you stocks, bonds? There's no personal guarantee on a reverse mortgage. It is a win-win situation.
Right.
So, and that brings us to death, which is, you know, not such a great subject, but if you talk...
But it happens.
But it happens to almost all of us, except for Mr. Spock. And even he in real life ended up going, which was a very sad day for both of us. But that's another topic and, and another show. But the truth of the matter is, this is where it gets a little emotional. And I've been doing this now for 10 years, and I still get a little chills when I talk about this because so many people in my family got reverse mortgages because of me. You know, when dad dies, and dad usually does die first. Statistically, men live 5 to 7 years less than women. That's just reality. So you think about this, you know, they usually don't die together. God forbid a car accident, an airplane crash. Let's hope that never happens. Many people will tell you that the best thing about a reverse mortgage is that there's no payments.
Right.
That's probably the most popular answer. But a close second is when a husband in his 60s, you know, looks at you and goes, I'll be honest with you, to me, I can afford payments, Michael. I've done well in life. But I want to know when I'm gone that my wife can stay in this beautiful home.
Right.
There's no payments.
Nope.
And the income stream that they were taking from the reverse mortgage keeps coming. Because people, again, it's almost like long-term care insurance. People don't think about it till it's too late. But the average statistic says when dad dies in his mid-80s, low 90s, mom's losing about 60% of the household income.
Right.
Now, that's not going to be true I know I'm almost a decade older than you, but in our generation and below, women are making as much, if not more, than their husband.
Correct.
But in the generation that are facing that death scenario, mom's getting $500-600 a month in Social Security, dad's getting $1,800. Mom has no retirement, dad had $1,300 in retirement, and that stops upon death. So a lot of people don't realize, and it sounds very corny, I know. People sometimes think I'm just doing it because the camera is on, but I have been at too many funerals the last few years. And I think you get to my age, because I'm 60, you know, once you get to those mid-50s, people start dying. Aunts, uncles, you kind of expect your grandparents to die when you're younger, but then it's your parents, and then it's your aunts and your uncles. And at almost every funeral that I've ever been to, really and truly, there's that question. You hear it from one of the kids. What is mom going to do at the house?
Right.
Can she afford to stay there? What a sad thing when you're there grieving over the loss of your mom and dad to go, well, what are we going to do now? She can't afford that house. We just lost dad's, you know, Social Security and his pension. And I hate to say it, having that reverse mortgage certainly doesn't get rid of the grief.
No.
But to be able to say, does mom want to stay in the house?
That's the question.
Not can she?
Yeah, does she want to stay there?
What a different world for mom. It just, you know, I tend to use mom as an example, but dad can go first.
But that's typically what it is.
Yeah, and to me, that's incredible. I really think it's an incredible thing. And again, there's always been this philosophy that you do your reverse mortgage as a last resort.
Right.
When you run out of money, there's no CDs left, there's nothing in the checking, nothing in the savings, you sold all your stock, it's time for that reverse mortgage. Well, the financial planning world has turned that around. Not the reverse mortgage world, but the financial planning world.
Correct.
Use your equity early and let your savings, let your portfolio continue to grow.
Let it build.
It's always back to 62, who knew? So you can make it to 90.
Right.
Don't deplete your funds, deplete your equity. Who the hell cares, quite frankly? Okay, let your portfolio grow into your 70s and 80s. Now you've depleted your equity. So what? You still own your home. There's no payment. Now you have a portfolio. You have savings to make it to 90.
Right.
So it's the new philosophy of use the reverse mortgage first, not as a last resort. And that's been a fun 10 years for me, going around the country teaching that to financial planners, long-term care providers, elder law attorneys. It's been rewarding.
So, okay. If you want to know more, and I guarantee if you're like me, you want to know more, right? Because I'm 10 years out of trying to worry about this, right? So you need to go and watch 62 Who Knew. You can go to WeBeamTV.com, or you can go to 62whoknew.com and go watch all the back episodes. Now, he did 2 shows and he didn't want to do it, but I pushed him. He did 2 separate shows on the reverse mortgage. And I'm telling you right now, it's not what you think it is. It's better than you think it is. I'm even trying to get my own mother to do that now, because it's at a point where she needs to really start.
And you're married to a mortgage person, so I have no shot at that mortgage.
I'm actually, no, you do, because my wife already said I don't do reverses. We send that to Michael.
Cool.
So, yeah,
I love your
you do.
wife. I love
So
you.
with that being said, hey, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about a blue ocean strategy. When I
Yes.
first heard about this, I thought this was really cool. I told you, he's not just a typical dude. I mean, this cat's got some stuff going on. He's got a show. He's got his mortgages. He's got a very niche mortgage. And then he's got the blue ocean. And on top of that, the last segment we're going to talk about, he is a writer. So we'll be right back after these messages.
that loves going to the dentist. I love going to Dr. B.
I like coming to Dr. B because it is fun.
It's a very cool place where I can play and have fun while I make my toys.
And I can watch my favorite shows on the ceiling TV while they clean my teeth.
Mom loves it because she says that they explain everything and give her the best choices.
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time. Call us now to make an appointment.
And the best part is when we are done, we get a Choco Pomo treasure tower.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Okay, we're back. And now we're going to talk blue ocean strategies. I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it, It's a book, but it's also an audio file, so you can actually go and and you can download it or listen to it on your mobiles while you're driving, or probably set an MP3 and put it in your car and whole 9 yards. So, tell me about Blue Ocean Strategy.
Let me tell you, it's many people. The last time I checked on Wikipedia, which has been years, the definition of the Blue Ocean Strategy book actually was the best business book ever written in the history of the world. Wow. I didn't write it, by the way. We'll get to my book later. But I read it. It was a gift to me from a friend about 10, 15 years ago. I think it was written close to 20 years ago. But just as a quick synopsis, let me tell you what a Blue Ocean Strategy is. Two very young, brilliant PhDs did research on some of the most successful businesses ever. And they came up with Blue Ocean Strategy. And their strategy is, their theory is, that the whole world is in the red ocean. The red ocean is red, quite frankly, from the blood of the competition cutting each other. I want Starbucks. No, I want Seattle Coffee. I think Remax is the best real estate person in the world. No, I think it's Keller Williams.
Right.
I like Adidas. No, I like Pumas and Nikes. I like the McDonald's. There's just no. I want to be on cable TV. I want to be on internet. There's no exception to the rule.
Right.
I like Pampers. I like something else. So that's why the competition just keeps cutting each other. And then every now and then an entrepreneur, whether they know it or not, now it's referred to as a Blue Ocean Strategy. But every now and then an entrepreneur does something in the blue ocean. And they give like 20 examples, but I'm going to give you my two favorites because that's what motivated me to come up with a Blue Ocean Strategy in my mortgage company. Almost 20 years ago, a man wanted to create a new type of circus. And of course, that was Cirque du Soleil, which is, so many of us has gone and seen those beautiful shows. This is one of the most successful entities on the planet. They're all over the world. Started in Vegas, but now they're all over the world.
Right.
Well, imagine this. He goes to Wall Street, or to his investors 15, 20 years ago, says, I want to raise a couple of $100 million. And they go, for what? He goes, I'm going to do a circus. And they look at him and go, circus? Circuses are unpopular now. I hate to say it, but it was discovered that Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus was really torturing the animals. I was one of the believers that never would believe that. Nobody wants to go to a circus. This is a downtrend. He goes, yeah, but my circus isn't going to have animals. And my circus is not going to be $20 a ticket. It's going to be more like $150. Oh, and by the way, it's not going to be in a tent that smells like elephant poop. It's going to be in a $100 million facility connected to the Bellagio in Vegas. Everybody thought that was a little crazy. That was 15, 20 years ago. Today, it is one of the most profitable and incredible entities on this planet. He took the circus and went blue ocean.
That's
how can you say your tickets are too expensive? Compared to what?
Right.
Tell me what's your other choice? Yeah, and my second best example, which I just love, because I was one of the idiots that was against this. I remember when Kinko's first opened. Mm-hmm. A copier place opened 24 hours. My dad, who's been gone now a while, I remember my dad and I looking at the first Kinko's, in Clearwater going, I won't even use the language that my dad used, but who the hell is going to need a copy at 2:30 in the morning?
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's ridiculous. There's a copy place in every shopping center, next to every Publix. Who needs a copy place open 24 hours? Well, then they said, you know what, we're also going to put computers in these places, because there's this new thing called the internet, not everybody, and we're going to charge like 32 cents a minute, 32 cents a minute for people to look up stuff. Oh, and by the way, we're putting a FedEx in every Kinko's. And again, people went, there's a FedEx box in every parking lot of every office building in the United States. Dumb idea. Until several years ago when they sold to FedEx. I don't remember the number, but it's enough of a number.
Millions.
Yeah, it was enough of a number to pay off a third world country's debt.
Yep.
They took the copy business and they went blue ocean. There was no competition. So I don't want to bore the audience, but I do want you to buy the book. I think every entrepreneur, business person should buy the book.
Well, I'm actually going to download it.
I think they should be paying me a royalty because
Yes,
of
they should.
the way I push this book. But I came up with a blue ocean theory for my little mortgage company. I'm a little independent mortgage person, a little bigger than some little companies, but not as big as most. And I've often wondered over the years, why don't financial advisors, independent financial advisors, certified financial planners of all types, long-term care providers, Why don't they do mortgages?
Right. Well, yeah, because they're touching the financials of their clients.
They're going to do your annuities. They're going to do your health insurance, your life insurance, your final expense insurance. They're going to help you plan. They're going to tell you where to invest your money. But when somebody calls up and says, I need to borrow, I'm buying a house for $1 million or $500,000 or whatever, and I need to come up with my down payment, the financial planner moves the money around. And then the client goes to the realtor's brother-in-law, Ralph, who Ralph may be a good guy. To all my brothers and sister mortgage people out there, lots of great people. Why isn't the financial planner your most trusted advisor doing your mortgage? It's your largest asset. If it's not your largest asset because you're wealthy, it's most certainly your largest liability. And there's just so much that goes with that. Why are 50 and 55-year-old people taking 30-year mortgages? Do they really want a mortgage payment at 80 or 85? No, it's because the mortgage person they're going to, again, disclosure, great mortgage, honest mortgage people, are going, this is my 30-year rate. They don't go, when are you going to retire? Let's look at that rental property. When do your annuities come due? When do you need to start drawing on your retirement accounts at age 59? Let's look at, only a planner would do that. So it's always mystified me why financial planners don't do mortgages. And quite frankly, after the Great Recession, like many people in their 50s, my mortgage company had shrunk, and I had to decide, how am I going to build a quality retirement?
There you go.
How am I going to build a mortgage company when all my competition is in 40 or 50 states and giving people laptops and group joining associations and major medical and 401k and stock options, and here's little Mike Manna trying to grow a mortgage company so I can retire maybe before I'm 112 years old, if that's possible.
Well, at least by 105.
At least 105. At least I'll have 7 good years left, according to the Weitzman Institute. So I launched in July of this year at a NAIFA convention. Again, NAIFA is the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. They were kind enough to let me come to their Florida State show in April, and I did a little speech. Everybody thought I was coming for reverse mortgages because that's what they're used to. And now I'm going blue ocean. A lot of them knew what blue ocean meant, and my blue ocean theory is financial advisors and mortgages, an idea whose time has come. So it's only been 3 months, but we have 3 financial advisors that have already passed their test and are doing mortgages for their clients. We have almost 10 in mortgage school getting ready to get. People are looking at it and going, yeah, you're right. Why are people dialing an 800 number on the TV commercial to get a mortgage when they have a trusted advisor? So it's been fun. It's only been 3 months, but I'm no longer hiring regular loan officers. I had to go blue ocean because, quite frankly, a little independent can't compete.
They always tell you in business, surround yourself with people that know way more than you do, right? And why not deal with a financial advisor that's already got a built-in clientele?
That's right.
And now they're going to sit there and go, oh, hey, by the way, I'm seeing your numbers. A refi would be good. Or, it's maybe look into an investment property.
Exactly. I can't tell you how many times I do a refi in my career for somebody that's 52 years old. And I look at their rate and I go, your rate's good.
Yeah.
Why are you refining? You're taking cash out? We're paying off bills? No. I don't know why, but 5 years ago when I bought this house, I did a 30-year mortgage. I really need to cut that down to 10 or 15. And they're spending thousands of dollars to refinance the house. Now, when you take 10 years off your mortgage, you're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it still makes sense to do. But why wasn't the planner there 3 years ago before they paid thousands of dollars in doc stamps and tangible tax, termite, title, serve, all the things that go with a mortgage? Do it up front. Many times I write a mortgage for someone, they have 3 rental properties. Well, through your wife, of course, how intrusive a mortgage application is. So when I see the mortgages on the rental properties, again, I go, you have a property here that you owe, that your rate is 7%. Why is it so high? Well, I refinanced my house to get a lower. I totally forgot about the rental property. Well, why don't we take that down into the mid-4s and save you $100 grand in the next 20 years? I go, oh, okay, do that too, Mike. The planner would have thought of that. So I am hoping that that this is my blue ocean, and I'm not the first person to do it.
So if you're a business person, I don't want to say man or woman, but if you're a business person, and you have the potential of turning what you do into a blue ocean strategy. I mean, WeBeam TV
You're Blue Ocean, and you don't even know it.
Right.
You are Blue Ocean before I brought up the word to you. This entire television station, you created a blue ocean here.
So I'm trying to get out of that red ocean.
Yeah, and you did.
And all the videographers that are trying to kill each other for the
That's
same
right.
fish.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you're blue. A lot of people are Blue Ocean and they don't know.
Don't even know it.
Yeah, but the book is motivating. I'm not usually a pusher of books, except for my book. I think everyone in the country.
And we're going to talk about
Yes.
that because we got about a minute and a half left, and then we'll come back to that right there.
All right, very cool.
But so that is working for you.
It's working very well. I'm doing a speech day after tomorrow in the Orlando Financial Planning Association chapter. Next year, I have a lot of speeches planned, only in the states where I'm licensed. And of course, I know your audience is broad. So
you're going to be in Orlando on Friday.
I'm going to be in Orlando on Friday, speaking to about 30 or 40 financial planners, hopefully convincing a few of them to become a licensed mortgage loan officer. The pool is pretty thick here because there's more than 100,000 financial advisors in the state of Florida.
Right.
So I only need a few hundred of them to fund my retirement.
That's what a great concept.
Well, the other thing also about Blue Ocean, I know there's only a few seconds left. The best thing about Blue Ocean also is it benefits the client and the entrepreneur. So now the client actually is using his most trusted advisor.
So a win-win-win.
It's win-win.
Win for you, win for the advisor, and a win for the client.
And the advisor is creating an entirely new stream of income for themselves, yet doing right by their client.
Right.
It's definitely Blue Ocean.
It just makes so much sense.
It does. So if you're interested, if you are a financial advisor, and
we'll have his information up there, so that way you can get a hold of Michael, because this is pretty powerful.
Yeah, well, maybe
I have to say.
Yeah. If you're any type of a financial planner, long-term care provider, Medicare supplement, anything that allows you to be in people's homes, if you don't have that mortgage loan origination license, you're really doing yourself and, quite frankly, your database, your clients, a disservice.
All right. Well, that being said, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the other thing Mr. Michael Banner has done, and that's write a book. Because I'll tell you right now, this is a great read. I don't read. I just don't. And it's not that I can't read. I just don't read. But this is going to be a great read. You need to pick it up, order it online. He'll tell you where I ought to get it, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist. I love coming to Dr. B.
I like coming to Dr. B because it is fun.
It's a very cool place where I can play and have fun while I make my teeth.
And I can watch my favorite shows on the ceiling TV while they clean my teeth.
Mom loves it because she says that they explain everything and give her the best choices.
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time. Call us now to make an appointment.
And the best part is when we are done, we get a token from the treasure tower.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Okay, we're back. Final segment. Not only are we going to tell you how to get a hold of Michael, but we're going to tell you about a book that he wrote. And it was about your father.
Yes.
Your father inspired this book.
Yeah, I had an incredible father. He was just one of the best examples of the greatest generation, and we were inseparable from the time I can remember. I don't know if that's 2 years old or 3 or 5. From the time I can remember till he left this earth. In our home, we lived together. We had 2 master bedrooms, and he left this earth surrounded by his children and his grandchildren, which is the way a real man should go out. And that picture actually behind us, or on the book, that's a picture of Dad just a few days before he was shipped out for World War II. He volunteered.
Volunteered.
Yeah, of course he volunteered.
Wasn't voluntold, he was he volunteered.
Yeah, millions of people, not just my dad of the greatest generation, volunteered to go fight in World War II.
So tell me why you think that's the greatest generation. Because I've heard you say that several times.
Yeah. It actually bothers me that there's some younger generations, preceding generations, that think the greatest generation is a nickname. Of course, one of my favorite movies, maybe other than Rocky, my favorite movie at all time, Saving Private Ryan. I mean, that to me, I can watch that 30,000 times. They refer to, that was an incredible movie, Pearl Harbor. And then, of course, the book, The Greatest Generation, by Tom Brokaw. That's what really brought the term back. But people thought it was just a term. But the truth of the matter is, they were the greatest generation. Nobody can compare to them. Because when you really think about it, the greatest generation went to World War II. And on the European front, they stopped Hitler from taking over the world. On the Pacific front, they stopped the evil empire of Japan from taking over the world. They literally saved the world. Now, that's not just so much why they're the greatest generation. We've had other heroes. But now the war is over. It's 1945. They come home. You would think you could put your feet up and go, we saved the world. What more do you want? Right. But instead, that generation created the most vibrant, most incredible economy, country, culture ever known to man, the United States of America. It had been around for a while, but home ownership from the greatest generation was the highest ever. Right. The first doctor that ever did a heart transplant, greatest generation. The first doctor that ever did a kidney transplant, greatest generation. The CEOs of every incredible company on Wall Street, greatest generation. Man who broke the speed of sound, greatest generation. First man to walk on the moon. You get the point?
Yeah.
They just did everything. They became the mayors, the governors, the policemen, the politicians, which are not always good, but they created, they are the measuring stick. And, I remember this entire book, which is not deep, by the way. What, do you read this book in about 17 minutes?
It took me an hour.
It took you an hour? Okay, fine. You had to be doing TV shows in between?
I did.
Okay. It's just little blurbs of rules that my father brought me up with, guidelines of life. And he didn't invent any of them. Let me be clear of that. His brothers passed it on to their sons and daughters, and I'm sure greatest generation people passed it on, But it was just rules that generation lived by, such as when you're talking to someone, look them in the eye. If they're not looking you, he used to say to me when I was little, if somebody's talking to you and they're not looking in the eye, they're lying. There was no gray area.
They're making stuff up.
They're making stuff up. A handshake, you don't have to break the guy's hand. Firm handshake means firm convictions. Weak handshake, you had a weak handshake with my father, you could literally leave that meeting and go save a busload of orphans. My dad still wouldn't like you because you had a weak handshake. There was no, and it's just rules like that. With yesterday being election day, vote. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Take part of the greatest democracy ever known to man. Right. Open car doors, for women. This one pisses off a lot of women. When you take a woman out, pay the bill. Dad just didn't understand going Dutch. And a lot of young women, or I'd say less, not young because I'm getting so old, a lot of women in the last couple of generations, think that's some sort of chauvinism. But one of my pages in the book says, attention, there is a difference between chivalry and chauvinism. It's
correct.
You're supposed to open a door for a woman.
That's right.
You're not supposed to use language. You're not supposed to, if you hit a woman in Dad's generation, that made you a special type of lowlife.
Right.
That was there with child molesting.
Yep.
You don't ever I mean, these are just about 45 of those cliches that during life Dad would go, hey, firm handshake, look the guy in the hand. You know, when I don't want to be political here, but when you sing the Star Spangled Banner, you stand up and you have respect. You know, of course, I was the generation that every day we did the Pledge of Allegiance every day before school started, and you stood up and you put your hand over your heart and you damn well said it.
That's right.
That was a great generation. You know, their handshake was their bond. Can you imagine that today?
No.
I mean, every business deal in the world needs 3 attorneys and 37 pages to stop the other guy from screwing you.
2 cryptologists to read the real fine print that really gets crazy.
So it's a very, very light read, and where I bring up one of the World War II or Greatest Generation rules that Dad lived by. And then I have a little pithy, for lack of better words, little sarcastic comment below that. You know, there's not even one full page in this. It's a thing, and then another little comment, maybe insulting a little to certain younger generation people. You know, my favorite one is, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, I looked that up, and the original cliche was you can't always judge a book by its cover. I agree with that. But for some reason, and I put this in the book, today's pierced, tattooed, mohawk, gold tooth, pants around the crack of their butt, they took the word all out of it. You can't judge a book by its cover. This is unpopular, but I'm going to say it. Yes, you can. Most of the time, you can judge a book by its cover. If you don't believe me, walk into a library. Okay, if you're going into a library to get a cookbook, the cover doesn't have, like, I don't know, a skull and crossbones on it.
Yeah,
It usually doesn't have that.
Nope.
So yes, you can judge a book by its cover. You just shouldn't always do it.
Right.
So it's just little stuff like that. It's made people smile. You know, it's sold X amount of thousands of copies. I wish I could say hundreds of thousands or millions, but possibly if you all buy that, we could change that.
You need to buy this.
Yeah, you need to buy
a good
that.
book.
You do.
I got lucky. You gave me one.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you know, if you want to purchase it, actually, I'm rebuilding the 62 Who Knew website because we're going to re-release the book. Thanks to the power of your TV show. Thank you. So if you do want a book, you could go to 62whoknew.com and just put in, you know, contact me. And Michael, how do I get a book? We'll have the website back up in less than 30 days when we re-release. That's not easy to say. We release the book.
We release.
Yeah, but that generation is, and truthfully, I try never to get political because it always will annoy half of your audience. But if the
I annoy them. It's okay.
If the greatest generation was around today to see what was happening, and I mean that, I'm going to be very blunt, on both sides of the aisle. I'm not taking sides. If my dad was alive to see what was happening on both sides of the aisle today and how they're putting their own interests first and not this country's, both sides are equally guilty. I'm telling you, he would say, I'm glad I'm dead.
Right.
You know, with what's happening. It's just very sad what's happening in today's political world. But again, thanks to my father's upbringing, no matter how bad it is, this is still the greatest country in the history of history.
Everybody wants to be here.
Yeah, and which is sometimes part of the problem. But it's unbelievable how great this country still is. Right. So, but it's these people that helped do that.
They did. They put, you know, and on top of that, not only did they came back and after the war and made sure that United States, then they turned around and went and fixed everything we did overseas.
That's why I get so mad when parts of Europe and parts of the world, you know, do not back the United States in certain things. I think a couple of generations have forgotten that, you know, most of Europe would be called Germany today if it wasn't for America.
We helped rebuild France. Mm-hmm. We helped rebuild Germany.
Yes.
We helped rebuild Japan.
Well, we did Germany twice.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and France.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Well, every time they quit. Well. But anyway, but yeah, and these are the people that said, hey, look, you know what, you know, yeah, we gave you a butt whooping, but now we're here to help you. Get better.
Yeah. Well, you know the number one battle cry in France, don't you? We surrender.
Yeah.
We don't have any viewers in France, do we?
Probably.
You might have to dub that out.
No, we're okay.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
So, okay, where can people? First of all, is there one central location what website can they go to? Or
Well,
what?
you can go online, Barnes and bookstores have
Okay.
it. It's available on all electronic devices again, or you could just go to 62 Who Knew and say, "Hey, Mike, I want a book." We'll have the new website up in less than 30 days. I am re-releasing the book, and a lot
But
of
they can
people,
also go to your Facebook page.
they could go to
62
my
Who Knew.
they can do Facebook page. They could go anywhere, 62whoknew.com or 62 Who Knew Facebook page. They could contact me at mbanner@PMA Now. That's my mortgage company.com. They could call the phone number that you've had.
Yeah,
a lot
put
of
that
people,
phone number up and let them just blow that phone up.
727-224-3859. Even when we had the huge website, a lot of people were actually contacting me in another way because they want an autograph, which I think is weird. The first time you autograph something is kind of weird. Like, why
I did that about 6 months ago.
why do people want my autograph? Yeah, it was very weird. But it's fun to do. And I have to tell you, I probably have given away as many of these books as I've sold, because if you've served in the military, especially with this book, even though it's not a military book, but I walk into a restaurant, I see somebody wearing that hat, that says World War II or Korean War, or I have to say it, one of the only things this great country did wrong was the way they treated the Vietnam veterans, who were just as much heroes as every other veteran.
Yep.
I see people wearing those hats, I just give them the book and say thank you for my service.
That's awesome.
Because it's kind of weird how this country goes by wars. If you talk about generations, it's the World War II generation, the World War I generation, the Korean War generation, the Vietnam War generation. It's weird how we put everything in a war sense, but that's how we do that. And of course, there's 4,000 people, greatest generation people dying a day. We're only a few years away from there not being any of that generation left.
And that's sad.
That's beyond sad.
So if you want to get the book, you need to go to his website. If you want to watch his show, Monday nights, 7 o'clock, right here on WeBeamTV.com, or you can go to his Facebook page, 62 Who Knew, and watch it there. So that way you can keep up with what's going on in that world of 62 Who Knew. Or if you need a mortgage, there's a man to call. So with that being said, Michael, thank you very much for being on this show. We appreciate it. And we'll see everybody next week.